Hello and welcome to this video. In this tutorial, we're going to learn 3 different ways to rotate an object in Unreal Engine. For the first method, we'll use blueprints. With the event tick node, we can control how much the object rotates on every frame, basically creating smooth, continuous rotation in real time. For the second method, we won't touch the blueprint at all. Instead, we'll handle everything inside the material editor, using the world position offset to rotate the object directly through the material. And finally, in the third method, we'll go back to blueprints again, but this time we'll use the rotating movement component, which makes it even easier to apply rotation without extra logic. Now, you might be wondering, which method is better, and what are the differences? Well, if you're working with larger objects, especially ones that your character can collide with, or for things like parkour puzzles, then Method A and Method C are the better options. But for most common uses, like a fan or a decorative object in the game world, Method B is the best choice. To test this, I placed 600 instances of each method in a separate level to check the performance. Keep in mind, we're still inside the editor, so the final build might give slightly different results. As you can see, Method B is the most optimized, while Methods A and C take up a bit more performance cost, which makes them less ideal for heavy, performance-sensitive projects. For all 3 methods, we first need to make sure the pivot point of our mesh is set to the center. If your pivot is in the wrong place, you can fix it by opening the modeling tools from the top left. Then go to the X-Form menu and select Edit Pivot. From there, you can either move it manually or simply choose options like bottom or center. The main goal is to place it right in the middle. Once you're done, just hit Accept. For the first method, let's create a blueprint from the Actor class. Then, add your mesh inside the blueprint and make sure it's oriented correctly. Next, go to the Event Graph. Here, connect an Add Local Rotation node to the event tick, with the target set to your mesh. Now, add a Make Rotator node and multiply its output by the delta seconds from event tick. Connect this to the Add Local Rotation node. Since we want the mesh to rotate around the pivot point on the Z-axis, right-click on the Z value, choose Promote to Variable, and name it Speed. Finally, make the variable instance editable so you can adjust the rotation speed directly inside the level. And that's it. For the second method, we'll rotate the mesh inside the material using the world position offset. Start by opening the material of your mesh. Don't worry about the other nodes. Here we only care about the world position offset input. First, add a Rotate About Axis node. This node has 4 inputs, and we'll connect them one by one. For position, connect world position. For pivot point, connect object pivot point. For rotation angle, add a time node and multiply it by a parameter. This parameter will control the rotation speed. For the rotation axis, add a rotate vector node. Connect object orientation to its first input. For the second input, hold 3 and left-click to create a vector 3 constant. This vector defines the rotation direction. Convert it to a parameter and name it direction. In our case, set the blue channel z-axis to 1 so the mesh rotates around the z-axis. Now, apply the material as a material instance. As you can see, both the rotation speed and direction can be adjusted directly from the instance. For the third method, we'll use the rotating movement component inside a blueprint. Create a new blueprint based on actor. Then add your mesh to it and adjust its orientation if needed. At the top left, click Add Component and search for rotating movement. Now, under the rotation rate settings, you can define how the object rotates. Keep in mind that this rotation is based on the pivot point of the blueprint. For example, in my case, I want the mesh to rotate along the x-axis, so I simply set the x value in the rotation rate field. And that's it. Your object will automatically rotate at runtime with almost no setup required. I hope this video was helpful and that you learned something new today.